All right, great. So do we have the attendees over here? I would like a quick message from all the attendees. Very good evening to you. How are you all doing in these times of lockdown? If you would just message, put a hi in the chat window, I'll know that you are here already. Perfect. Great, great, great. You can't see me? Okay, some of the attendees are saying that they cannot see me. Is there a problem? Can see me clearly? Great. Perfect. All right. So, welcome, guys. I welcome all of you to this session on introspecting and strengthening your relationships. I am sure that you are all here to build stronger bonds and greater relations with everyone you know. In order to begin the session, I would first like to understand what are the problems which you're facing in your relationships. What really brings you here in this session on relationships? Ideally, we seek to know more about things which we feel we do not know more about, and which thus are becoming a reason of some pain, some misery, some anguish in our lives. So, I would like to know from you what are the top notch problems or issues which you think you are facing when it comes to relationships. And the relationships could be with anyone. It could be with your spouse, with your boyfriend, with your parent, with your children, with your friends, anyone, anyone. All right. So let's just try to understand that, and I'll so that I can ensure that I cover all your points in this session. Thank you, Rohit. I'm the only one who is putting in efforts. All right. One of the participants says that the problem she is facing is that she feels she is the only one who is putting in efforts. I would like the others too to share their concerns and the problems which they feel they are facing with respect to relationships. Okay, so we have someone saying, I sometimes feel lost and fear. I'll pass on my anger and frustration towards others, because of which I avoid talking to anybody and push myself into a corner. All right. Everyone says, listen to me. All right. Either he's right or wrong. Okay. Generation gap is a problem. I'm sure. Misunderstandings, absolutely. That's a big problem. Space. Uh huh. Okay. Yeah, I'm people from Thrive. I'm just trying to understand. Please don't put in your questions, guys. Just put in your problem that you're facing. You know, the issues, space issues. People try to kill you. Oh, that's shocking. His memories are disturbing you. Okay, lack of timing, lack of trust. Uh huh. Great. Introvert, can't mingle, lack of communication, income, ego. Every second person tries to be smart. That's true. I feel like I'm misunderstood, mostly overthinking, lack of love, care. You feel you're the only person of the two who's making effort to sustain the relationship, trust, communication. All right. Selfishness, cheating. So it means loyalty, not being loyal. Person's past trauma, lack of quality time, expectations, long distance, can't communicate needs without getting angry. Okay. Very nice, guys. I really appreciate you all for being so expressive. Fear of loss. How do we move on? Okay, we will cover that. Judging. Person is lazy. Everyone wants to supersede. Your efforts don't get reciprocated. Okay, fine. Fine enough. Fear of abandonment. So, fear is one prominent issue which you're having. Fear of abandonment also leads to insecurity. So, we'll talk about that. differences in ideologies, different thinking. Cool. Wow. I think, we're going to cover all of this for sure. Close mindedness, how to ignore, to move on, blaming, blame game, judging. Great. So I more or less have an idea now that the problems which you're facing, they are almost synonymous now from the answers which I'm receiving. Behavior, cheating. If you know he's cheating, how should you confront? Cool. All right, guys. So we will certainly take your questions in the end, so that we are aware that nobody's left, unsatisfied. Your son. Okay, great, great, great. I can see a very, very important issues coming up. So, guys, to start the session and to begin with, my name is Nakul Agrawal, as you might have seen on the infographic already. I run an organization named Renovatio in Nagpur, wherein we teach thousands of children in municipal schools, slums, orphanages, and do a lot of awareness campaigns and different social projects. I also take sessions on spirituality, on meditation, and I give people answers to all their questions about life. I have studied chartered accountancy, so my education has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. So all my insights are coming purely through my own experience, through my own reflection, and through my own insights. So I hope we will have a great session together over here. And having understood that, what are the problems which you're facing, I'd like to first start from the very root of the word relationship. Okay. The word relationship, guys, comes from the word relating, right? We humans, as we all know, are social animals. And being social animals, we have a fundamental need to socialize, don't we? Now, because we have a need to socialize and to relate, we start connecting with people outside. And how do we connect with people? How do we relate with people? Or what really makes us relate with someone? Well, common interests could make you relate with someone. Your ideologies, if they match, if they are same, then you can start relating with someone. Your dreams, could help you to relate with someone. Your blood, your caste, your nationality, your ideology, and so many other things. The fundamental to relating with any person starts, or is all about you having a common interest, mindset, or some thread wherein you find a communion with the person, right? You can't hear me? Okay, someone is saying that the person cannot hear me. I would like to recheck, can everybody hear me or not? Please say me a yes or a thumbs up if you can hear me. You're able to hear? Great. So the person who cannot hear, please check your speaker or volume. Cool. So guys, as we just felt or discussed that when you start relating with a person, when do you start relating with the person? When you have a common point, a common thread, similar ideology, perspectives, viewpoints, interests, anything. That is when you relate with anyone, right? Now, when you continuously relate with someone, you call it a relation. True or false? And I'd like you to participate for this session with your messages, okay? So that I know that we are on the same page. Okay, I'll try to speak in Hindi as well sometimes. So when you continuously relate with someone, you call it a relation. जब आप किसी से continuously relate करते हैं, तब आप उसे relation कहते हैं. And what is a relationship then? Relationship means the way in which we relate with the person. हम जिस तरीके से किसी से relate करते हैं, उसे हम relationship कहते हैं, right? If you just relate with someone for transacting, for taking and giving, then that's a business relationship, right? If you relate with someone for just having fun, for roaming around, and just expressing your emotions and something of that sort, then you call it a friendship. True. When you relate with someone much more deeply, in a way wherein you feel absolutely, able to open up, to share, and you find no fear within you, uh, for expressing yourself, for fear of being judged, or any sort of fear. When you relate that deeply with someone, when you trust someone that deeply, then you call it love, right? I'm putting it very blankly, very simply, for all of you to be able to relate with what I'm saying. Okay, guys, the mic is again on. I'm so sorry. There was some technical problem. What I said was that the top notch problem, the top reason for people to feel pain or suffering in life is relationships, which we all know. You do not experience a lot of pain because you've lost money in the business. You do not experience a lot of pain because you haven't scored good marks in your examinations. You do not experience a lot of pain and you do not suffer a lot because you've lost a particular race or a competition. But you experience a lot of pain and you suffer a lot if someone has spoken ill of you, if someone hasn't been up to your expectations, if someone hasn't fulfilled your expectations, if someone has spoken words which have been abusive or painful in any way whatsoever, right? The top notch reason of pain in all our lives, as we all have just discussed in the beginning, is our relations. And it does not affect us as much hearing something ill from someone whom you do not know, as it does from someone with whom you can relate, which means someone whom you know. True. So let us first try to understand what are the fundamental tenets for a good relationship or for any harmonious relationship. Guys, every relation starts with trust. Do you agree or do you not? Until and unless you can trust someone, you cannot relate with that person. Where there is distrust, there is no relation. True or false? Message me. Trust is the bedrock. Yes, absolutely. The fundamental of every relation is trust, right? Absolutely. And what is trust, guys? Why do you need trust for? And what for do you need trust in life? Well, trust is all about having a belief that the other person will not harm you intentionally or unintentionally, willingly or unwillingly, in whichever way, physically or emotionally. Trust is all about having this strong belief that the other person will not harm you. Because we have a strong need of feeling safe, of feeling secured, of surviving. This is called a survival instinct, in fact. Hence, we need trust in our relationships. When you cannot trust, there is no relationship. And as someone rightly said, that as trust starts fading, the relationship too starts fading. So, how do you build trust, guys? You build trust by giving. Giving what? Well, giving anything, right? Giving someone money, giving someone a patient ear, giving someone appreciation, giving someone something which that person needs, because there is a need, that is why there is a relation. Right? So, trust comes from giving. When you are giving less and expecting more, or when one side of the relation is all about giving and the other side is all about taking and expecting and severing, then there is a balance of trust. Then one person would be trusting a lot because the person is giving, right? So he's trusting a lot. The more you give, the more you get. Absolutely. But if you're only giving and not getting, then there's gonna be a paucity of trust. Or if the other person is only giving and you aren't giving back, then too, there is a paucity of trust. Because if you just give and get, if you just give to get, and if you just give and get, it appears to us that there is some win-win for both of them, right? It appears that even the other person is willing to let go. Even the other person cares about us. Even we mean something to someone. है ना? जब विश्वास होता है, तभी कोई इंसान आपको कुछ देता है, आपकी परवाह करता है, आपकी कदर करता है, और तभी हमें लगता है कि चलो, इसे मुझ पे यकीन है, इसे मुझ पे फेथ है कि नहीं दोस्तों? So trust is a very, very important, aspect in relationships. Okay, some of you have been requesting me to speak in Hindi. I would like all of you to tell me, should I speak in Hindi? Are you all comfortable with Hindi, or should I continue with English? Because I'm comfortable with both the languages, all right? English, please. Okay. Okay. So I'll try, guys, juggling in English and Hindi. Okay, we'll do a bit of English so that everybody is able to make sense of it. Great. We have more people contending for English, so I cannot make the majority feel bad. Cool. So, like I said, trust is the epitome of every relationship, right? Yeah, friends. I'll speak in Hindi too. I'll try my best कि मैं दोनों में जगल करूँ. Cool. तो दोस्तों, जब हम किसी को कुछ देते नहीं है, when we do not give, that is when the other person starts doubting us कि यार ये मुझे कुछ दे नहीं रहा है. I mean, I am the only one who's giving, and the other person is not at all reciprocating. वो कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, वो बदले में कुछ नहीं दे रहा है, मैं ही दे रहा हूँ अकेला. And that is where there is a distrust. Of course, there are many more reasons for distrust to happen, but this is the fundamental thing. It could be giving anything. कोई प्यार दे सकता है, एक ईयरिंग, एक टाइम दे सकता है, अपनी resources दे सकता है. A person can give anything, all right? It's not about just materialistic things. So trust is all about giving. Without giving, you cannot build trust. बिना किसी को कुछ दिए, बिना किसी की मदद किए, हम विश्वास पैदा नहीं कर सकते. And look at yourself. When you were a child, you trusted your parents because you knew that they are giving you something. They were giving you attention, they were giving you food, they were giving you care, they were giving you everything you needed. That is why you trusted your parents and family more as compared to outsiders whom you saw for the first time. We often see that children do not trust outsiders as much as they trust their family guys. Why? Because they've seen them giving. है ना? और एक बच्चा उनको बदले में कुछ नहीं दे सकता. A child cannot reciprocate much, right? But he finds them still giving. And this is what builds the trust. All right. Are we on the same page, guys? Are we? Trusted our teachers who taught us? Absolutely. Your teachers taught you, so you trusted them so much. Great. We're on the same page. Next, guys, next important attribute for any relationship is acceptance. I'm not saying expectations, I am saying acceptance. All right. Guys, when you give someone something, you have a natural tendency to expect something back from the other person as well. It might not be in equal quantity, but it has to be something, in somewhat nearer quantity. Be it anything. When you do not get something from the other person, as we've realized, there is a distrust. But guys, tell me, can someone fulfill all your expectations? Or can you fulfill all the expectations that anyone has from you? I'm sure you cannot. Nobody here can fulfill every expectation that every person has from him or her, right? So when you cannot fulfill all your expectations or anyone's all expectations, how can someone else fulfill all your expectations? Nobody can, right, guys? But see, this is the problem in most of our relationships. We make our expectations turn into obligations for the other person, right? Guys, expecting something is absolutely fine. Expressing what you expect is also absolutely and totally fine. But demanding the other person, ordering him or dominating him to make your expectations turn into a reality or to fulfill them in whichever way, this no more remains an expectation, but this turns your expectation into an obligation. And when you make anything turn into an obligation, you are snatching the other's freedom. Like someone has rightly said, demanding is disaster. Absolutely. And guys, freedom is the most fundamental need which every species has. हर एक इंसान को उसकी आजादी प्यारी है कि नहीं? Every species, forget humans, every species alive wants freedom. And when you make something an obligation, जब आप किसी के लिए कोई चीज को एक जोर जबरदस्ती बना देते हैं, that is when you snatch away his freedom to choose. आप उस इंसान से उसकी आजादी छीन लेते हो कि वो अपनी चॉइसेस खुद कर सके. Freedom is fundamental and it should be fundamental. So what to do? It is good to expect. It is also good to express your expectation, but it is absolutely a disaster to turn that expectation into an obligation, guys. So big reason why your relationships are messed up is that what you think of as expectations is actually an obligation, the way you're expressing it. You know? Having high expectations is the root cause of disaster. So what to do? Guys, expect, but do not depend on your expectation, right? Expectation rakho, पर अपनी expectation पे depend मत करो. Allow the other person freedom and space, like you rightly said in the beginning, freedom and space to make his own choice. And if the other person makes a choice which is contrary to your expectation, अगर वो इंसान आपकी expectation के विपरीत कोई choice करता है, then have acceptance. तब उसे कबूल करने की भी क्षमता रखो. If you do not accept him, well, you are resisting him. And wherever there is resistance, there is bound to be pain. Is there not? आप जो चीज को रेजिस्ट करते हो वहां आपको पेन होता है, और आप जो चीज को एक्सेप्ट करते हो वहां आपको प्लेजर होता है या पीस होता है या काम होता है ना? Guys, we so often talk about letting go, letting go, letting go. A lot of you have asked me about how to move on. हम कैसे किसी की याद दो को भुलाकर जिंदगी में आगे बढ़े. And we talk about by letting go. But how do you let go without accepting it? You are unable to let go of any incident, any wrong that a person has done, or any painful memory because you cannot accept that it has happened. You are continuously resisting it कि ये ऐसा होना चाहिए था और ये ऐसा नहीं ऐसा हुआ है. जब तक आप ऐसा नहीं ऐसा हुआ पे अटके रहोगे, आप जिंदगी का वो पन्ना कभी पलट ही नहीं पाओगे. You will never be able to turn the page. Every storybook has some, sad parts to it and some great parts to it. But if you're stuck on the sad parts of the storybook, you will be in constant pain. You need to turn the page. And how do you turn the page? By accepting it. Right, guys? जब तक आप accept नहीं करोगे, आप let go नहीं कर पाओगे. So acceptance is the key to letting go, right? So what have we learned? We've learned that relationships are all about giving. When you give someone something which he's expecting or perhaps not even expecting, that is when you build trust, right? When you build trust and when you start giving, you have a natural tendency to expect something in return as well. When you expect something, it is absolutely fine. You can communicate your expectation, क्योंकि किसी को भी सपना नहीं आएगा कि आप क्या उस expect कर रहे हो. So without communicating, you cannot really, make someone feel guilty for not understanding your expectations. कोई यहाँ पर telepathic नहीं है, right? So when you communicate your expectation, even then it is the other person's freedom to choose whether he feels happy to fulfill your expectations or not. अगर वो आपकी expectation fulfill करने के लिए या आपके जो communication जो आपने कहा है कि तुम्हें ये करना चाहिए, तुम्हें वो करना चाहिए, अगर वो नहीं करता है, वो कुछ और करता है, even then you should have acceptance. Guys, if you want to be accepted from the other person, why should you not accept the other person? And you might say कि ओ मैंने तो कहा था कि ये मत करो, देखो अब गलती हो गई ना. Tell me guys, कौन गलती नहीं करता है? And how does a person learn if not by making mistakes? Making a mistake is not wrong. Repeating a mistake time and again by not learning from it is wrong. So if you're making someone feel guilty by reminding him of a mistake which he committed once, he is not wrong anymore. You are wrong. Please reflect on it. Please be with me. Please reflect. All right. So if you do not accept someone making a mistake by choosing something which is contrary to your own expectations, you are spoiling the relationship, my friends, not that other person. है ना? So expectations is important, acceptance is important, giving is important, freedom is important, communication is important. What else is important, guys? We talk about something called loyalty, right? Someone said that, how do you trust someone if he's not loyal? I also want you to understand, like we discussed in the beginning, that you relate with someone because you share a common need. Your interests, your ideologies, your beliefs, they are all a need, right? We all have a common need. And the most fundamental need that a person has is to be happy, right? हम सब जो भी करते हैं खुशी के लिए करते हैं ना. We do everything to be happy. Is there anything that we do for pain, for sorrow, for anguish, for misery? Nothing, right? We do everything to be happy. True? So if we do everything to be happy, every single thing, then what do you think a person's loyalty is for? For you or for his own happiness? Well, he started relating with you because relating with you gave him happiness. When you fulfilled more of his or her own expectations, that made him much more happier, right? If you're hungry and someone gives you food, he's fulfilling your expectations and thus making you feel happy. True? So a person is never loyal to you. He's loyal to his need, which you're fulfilling. You must realize this. It might, come out as very sour, something as very different than what you've understood always. But nobody is here to be loyal to you, because they didn't begin with being loyal to you. They began your relation with being loyal to their happiness, to their own needs. So if a person is loyal to his own happiness, then he's bound to do things which are going to make him happy in his own sense. It is not necessary that something makes you happy is bound to make him happy as well. अगर कोई चीज आपको खुश कर रही है, ये जरूरी नहीं कि वो उसे भी खुश करे. And of course, यही अक्सर रिश्तों में होता है. We start, ordering someone to do something because we think that it would make him happy because it makes us happy. क्योंकि हमें लगता है कोई चीज हमें खुश करती है, इसलिए वो उसे भी खुश करेगी. इसलिए हम उसे फोर्स करते हैं, उसे पुश करते हैं, उससे ऑब्लिगेट करते हैं कि वो भी वही चीज करे, without realizing that it does not make him happy. ये जरूरी तो नहीं ना हम सबको सेम चीज से खुशी मिले. हम जानते हैं कि ऐसा नहीं होता है, right? So the only thing which makes him happy is something which he knows and he chooses. And you can surely recommend him. You can surely suggest him. You can surely advise him. You can surely guide him. You can surely encourage him. That is your right. But you are no one to force him, to compel him. Are you? Do you like to be compelled? Do you like to be forced to do something against your will? Because whatever you will for is what you think makes you happy. आप जो चीज भी चाहते हो, ये चीजें आप इसीलिए चाहते हो क्योंकि आपको उन चीजों से खुशी मिलती है. और अगर कोई इंसान सही में आपको चाहता है, if someone really loves you, loves in any way, if someone loves you as a friend, as a brother, as a child, as a daughter, as a hubby, as anything whatsoever, अगर कोई इंसान आपको सही में चाहता है तो वो आपके लिए एक चीज जरूर चाहता है, वो ये कि आप खुश रहे, है ना? A person who really loves you wants you to be happy. If someone does not want you to be happy, well, he's not in love with you. What he has with you is perhaps lust. Lust? Yeah, lust. And remember, guys, lust is not just about the body. Lust is when a person thinks about himself more than the other person. or at the cost of other person. And love is when you think about the other, perhaps at the cost of you yourself, because finding him happy makes you much more happier, right? Your parents have sacrificed a lot for you because finding you happy made them happy, right, guys? Love leads to sacrifices and lust leads to compromises. And what is the difference between compromise and sacrifice? In sacrifice, you give not to get. In compromise, you give so that you can get. The stars in the film industry compromise. We call it casting couch, right? The soldiers on the border do not compromise, they sacrifice. सच कह रहा हो कि नहीं? तो प्यार वो है जहां हम सैक्रिफाइस करते हैं, कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं. पर मैं आपको ये भी नहीं कह रहा कि आप ऐसे किसी इंसान के लिए सैक्रिफाइस करो जो आपके साथ सिर्फ कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना चाह रहा हो. A good relationship is wherein both the parties, both the parties have an intention to sacrifice. Where one has an intention to compromise and the other has an intention to sacrifice, तो दोस्तों वो प्यार नहीं व्यापार है. व्यापार मतलब बिजनेस में आप कुछ देते हो ताकि आपको बदले में कुछ मिले. प्यार मतलब मोहब्बत में आप कुछ देते हो क्योंकि आपको देने में ही खुशी मिल जाती है. Right or wrong? So guys, it is very, very important that our relationships are not transactional in the business sense. Of course, you give and you can get and you should get, but you should not give to get. If you're giving to get, then it's a compromise, it's not a sacrifice, and then it is not love, it is lust. And lust is about business, guys. Love is not business. प्यार और व्यापार में बहुत फर्क है. देने का मतलब प्यार होता है, लेने के बदले देना व्यापार होता है. और जहां कोई बिना कोई मांग के ही सब कुछ लुटा दे, उसी को हम प्यार कहते हैं. सही कह रहा हूं कि नहीं? And this is not philosophy, mind you. This is absolutely practical. I'm living what I'm telling you, and I have great relationships with innumerable people, right? People who know me can vouch for it, who are in this session right now. So guys, trust, freedom and giving are very fundamental. And now when you feel a sense of insecurity, when you feel a sense of possessiveness, you must realize that is not love, that is lust. That is lust. Because when you feel insecure, it means you're thinking about yourself solely. How do you feel insecure? आपको असुरक्षा की भावना कब होती है? जब आपको लगता है कि अगर वो इंसान चला गया तो मेरी खुशी चली जाएगी. When you find the other person doing something which makes him happy and you feel threatened by his happiness, thinking that if he goes away, then it would take away your happiness. This is when you feel insecure. When you think solely about yourself, solely. It's good to think about your happiness, but it is not good to think about just your happiness. True or false? And when you think about only your happiness, that is when insecurity happens. And that is when you try to possess the person. You become possessive. You tell him, इससे बात मत करो, वहां मत जाओ, तुम ये क्यों कर रहे हो, तुमने वो क्यों नहीं किया. आपकी सारी जो बातें हैं, जो शिकायतें हैं, जो चाहते हैं, जो डिमांड्स है, well, this is not love. This is lust. And guys, such relationships are toxic because they snatch the freedom of the other individual to do what makes him or her happy. और अगर कोई आपकी खुशी लगातार छीनता रहे क्योंकि उसको लगता है कि अगर आपने अपनी खुशी चुनी तो उसकी खुशी छीन जाएगी, तो क्या आपको ऐसे रिलेशनशिप में रहना चाहिए कि नहीं रहना चाहिए? आपको खुद सोचना है, right? If someone is snatching your happiness by demanding you to do which would make only him or her happy, this someone can be your parent, he can be your partner, he can be your son or daughter, he can be anyone, then that is no more a relationship based on love. It is a relationship based on lust, based on selfishness. You know, guys, we call love to be unconditional. हम कहते हैं कि प्यार वो है जिसमें कोई conditions नहीं होती, है ना? What does unconditional mean? Unconditional mean you're not doing something on a condition. You're not giving so that you can get. When you're doing something on a condition, then it is not love. It is lust, like we've discussed, right? Love is only when there is no conditions. Yes, there can be expectations, like we've discussed, but an expectation is not an obligation. And if you find that there is a person who's only taking away from you and not at all giving back in any way to the best of his capacity, well, you need to decide whether you need to be with that person or not. Someone says that lust makes us happy. True, lust makes you happy. It certainly makes you happy. That is why you have a desire for it. But if it does not make the other person happy, it cannot have, a sense of relation to it. Then it is a commodity. You're using the other person as a commodity. People buy physical intimacy, right? People who are lust when it comes to the body, they buy intimacy by paying money. We call it prostitution. People buy someone else's service. They buy a service of getting massaged because it gives them happiness. But that's not a relationship. That's a transaction, right? That's business. So if something makes you happy, it does not mean that it is love. When something makes both the parties happy, when you care for your own happiness and you also care for the other person's happiness, this is when you are able to relate. And this is when you can call that relationship as a relationship based on love. If you're only thinking about your own happiness, it can be anything but not love. You know, I would like to quote Kabir. Kabir has written beautiful couplets on love, you know, and he says that Prem Gali Ati Sakri, Jame Dona Samay. Prem Gali, Prem means love, the lane of love. Ati Sakri is very, very narrow. Jame Dona Samay. Two people cannot accommodate on this lane or in this lane. मैं रहूं तो हरि ना आए और हरि रहे तो मैं मिट जाए. When I am there, then the beloved is not. And when the beloved is there, I do not need to be. What he's saying is, love is about the other person. I'm not saying you suffer pain. I'm not saying you destroy yourself. I'm not saying you do not respect your happiness. Please understand. I'm saying in love, you respect the other person's happiness, choices, freedom, space, needs. That is when it is love. And if someone is not doing that, you need to move on. You need to have a conversation. You need to have a discussion. Or you need to make some strong, harsh choices, which might cause temporary pain, but it would cause long-term happiness. Right, guys? So the only loyalty a person has is towards his own happiness. But a relationship is always based on love, and love is about giving. Love is not about compromises. Love is about sacrifices. True? Because we fail to understand all these things, guys, this is why there is so much of frustration, so much of misunderstandings, and so much anxiety and restlessness and pain in our relationships. If there is a relationship which is not fulfilling these criteria, which I've just laid down very normally, very simply, then you need to rethink whether it is really a relationship based on love or lust, whether it is a business relationship or it is really a personal relationship. Because in relationships based on love, you care about the other person's happiness. You know, this is why we call caring and concern to be so important in relationship. What is caring if not wanting the other person to be happy? If not wanting to do something to take away the other person's pain? Just wishing well for someone is kindness, guys. And trying to do something to take away someone's pain or to make his pain turn into pleasantness, into happiness, this is what we call as compassion. There's a hell lot of difference in kindness and compassion. And compassion is possible only when there is passion. And passion is equanimous with love, is it not? Whatever you're passionate about, you say, I'm in love with it. Be it dancing, be it singing, be it having conversations, be it teaching, be it listening to music, be it anything in the world, your work. Passion comes out of love, guys. And passion leads to compassion. So if someone is just being kind to you, just wishing well for you, अच्छा सब ठीक तो हो ना, मजे में तो हो ना, हाँ फिर ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. That person could be a well wisher, but not necessarily someone who's acting out of love. If someone makes an effort to ease your pain, his effort might not be successful. He might not succeed in being able to ease out, but at least he makes an effort to do so, right? When he makes an effort to do so, that is when he's acting out of love. And love is the fundamental of every relation. And now, how would we differentiate between friendship and love relationship? Well, friendship is just something wherein there are free ends. If you break the word friends, it turns into free ends. Friendship is very important, guys, and we love our friends a lot because there are not as many expectations and demands in friendship as there are in your relationships with your parents or with your spouse or with your partner. You do a mistake of binding the other person with your expectations, demands, obligations, and everything else. In friendship, you do not demand and expect so much as you do in other relationships, right? Friendships is a relationship when the ends are free. In other relationships, you tend to close your ends. And that is when a person feels suffocated because he cannot choose his happiness. So if someone is preventing you from choosing your happiness, you need to tell them that they should respect your freedom, your choice, your space, and not obligate you to do as they feel as right. And they should accept you even if you make a mistake, because we are humans, we all make mistakes, right? We do not want to be judged. When do you feel judged? When you do not feel accepted. What is being judged as? It's being labeled something. If you try to form an opinion about me from this session, that is fine. You have the right to form an opinion. But if you make a concrete opinion, you say, nahi, Nakul aisa hi hai, wo waisa hi hai, aur kaisa bhi nahi hai, that is when you call it a judgment. You need to accept that every person has flaws. He has something good and something bad, right? If you do not accept someone with his flaws, you are expecting perfection. And guys, perfection is a myth. There is nothing called perfection in this world. A world which is perfect would be a dead world. It would not grow. It would not evolve. It wouldn't be as beautiful as it is, right? Beauty lies in imperfection, not in perfection, guys. True? So these are some of the points which I wanted to highlight in this session. Of course, the time is too less to talk about such a deep topic as relationships, love, friendships. One can go on this much more deeper for hours together. I've spoken on 2 hours, 3 hours on this subject, but respecting the time limit, I would like to take on your questions now. And in case your questions aren't answered, in this fundamentals about relationship which I have just shared, please post in your questions in the Q&A session. I would like to take on your questions. Okay, so I'm trying to answer your questions now. Okay, so someone had a toxic relationship when the other person tried to take the person's life. Well, this is not a relationship anymore, as you know, because if you're trying to kill someone, it is not about sacrifice. It's not even compromise. It's sabotage. It's domination, right? And love is not about possession. You have no right to kill someone. In love, a person surrenders. A person does not try to control. So you need to move on from such person. If the relationship is toxic, good. You've learned something, take a lesson and move on. And do not judge the other person who comes your way with the same lens that even he could try to kill me. he might not, right? Next question is, I know he's cheating, but I don't know if I should confront my partner. Well, he's cheating means he's finding his happiness in someone else, means he's not happy in your relationship, perhaps. If he's not happy in your relationship, first you need to introspect why the person is not happy in your relationship. If there is a reason when you're not fulfilling his needs in some way, you can. If you're trying to be too controlling, too dominating, too judgmental, or anything which we've spoken of, then you need to first correct that in yourself. If he finds happiness with you, he or she might not feel the need to go out and cheat. If not, have a discussion. Have a discussion. Ask him what makes him do so. Do not totally write off the person, guys. Just have a discussion, have a conversation. Perhaps you can communicate to what need is not getting fulfilled through you, which is getting fulfilled to the other person. And if you can fulfill that need, the other person would automatically fade away, right? So have a discussion. Do not blame, have a discussion. I hope this helps you. So, okay. Making a mistake is not wrong, but if continuous mistakes, then what we should do? If someone is making continuous mistakes, then you need to have a discussion. You need to have a conversation and explain it to the person कि ये गलती बार बार मत करो. अगर वो फिर भी नहीं सुधर रहा है, if the person is still not willing to learn to improve, then either learn to accept him with that flaw, or if that flaw is too big, then move on, leave him, choose something else. You just have two choices, right? या तो आप उस इंसान को उस गलतियों के साथ उसका नेचर समझ के उसका नेचर समझ के एक्सेप्ट कर लो, या फिर अगर वो बहुत बड़ी गलतियां है तो मूव ऑन करो. Choose something different, choose a different friend, choose a different partner, choose, I do not know. It's very subjective, right? Third question is, my husband has inflated ego. How do I handle him? I love him. Make your husband meditate. Meditation is all about destroying the ego. आप उन्हें समझाओगे तो शायद वो नहीं समझेंगे, because he'll take you for granted, right? Make him meditate, make him reflect, make him contemplate. Thrive is organizing some wonderful sessions on meditation and a lot of things. Make him attend that. Thrive also organizes wonderful workshops and events like GFSS, which is going to happen this year too, I hope. Take him there with you, right? Or make him do online sessions. I also do a lot of online sessions on spirituality and meditation in whichever way you want, from whichever person you want. Make him meditate. That would help in killing his ego, right? So I hope this helps you. Next question, sir, as we are busy with our work and getting frustrated with ourselves, if someone's presence makes us happy and we want that moment to be freezed, so what we can call it, love or lust? And if it is lust, then is it wrong? Well, see, if you're busy with your work and getting frustrated and someone makes you happy, certainly that could be just friendship. It might not really be that kind of a love. Your need to be happy is being fulfilled. You have a need to be happy. So you finding your happiness in that person is certainly lust, sorry. But the other person also finding his happiness in you, in what you are doing, that would then be love, right? एक तरफा प्यार जो होता है वो सिर्फ पिक्चरों में होता है, असल जिंदगी में वो प्यार नहीं होता. True? So it would remain lust if only you are getting happy. If he too is feeling happiness, then it could be love for sure. And mind you, love is not just about relationship, प्यार मोहब्बत वाला मियाँ बीवी वाला गर्लफ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड वाला relationship. Love is about friendship as well. Even friendships are about love. Every relationship is about love. Cool, guys? Next question is, sir, what about parents' pressure and they are against your decision about your partner at the verge of divorce? Well, you need to make a choice. If you're happy with that person and you find yourself to have a good life, you look at yourself having a good life afterwards, then be with that person. If you're happy with him, your parents too would accept your decision, because every parent just wants his or her child to be happy. हर माँ बाप बस अपने बच्चों की खुशी चाहता है और कुछ नहीं, है ना? तो अगर आप उसके साथ खुश हो तो आपको एक्सेप्ट कर लेंगे, और अगर नहीं करते तो ये उनका ईगो है, ये उनका प्यार नहीं है, उनका लस्ट है. फिर lust is about the ego. So in that case, you need to make a choice whether you want to choose love or lust. Next is he doesn't like having a conversation. If the other person doesn't like having a conversation, that the person is not interested in you, or perhaps you are not talking about topics which interest him. Find out उस इंसान का interest क्या है. अगर आप अपने ही interest की बातें बोलोगे, then the person cannot relate. You remember हमने बात की थी, relationship starts with relating. So there has to be relating for the person to feel good. Next question is, what if the person changes as per the situation demands, although he was different and much happier than now? Well, that's fine. People are bound to change. We all change with time. We all evolve. If you too can evolve with his changing needs, and in some way create a bridge between his needs and yours, wherein you can fulfill his needs and he too can fulfill your needs, then the relationship is gonna continue well. If not, then it's gonna suffer. There's gonna be a sour end to it. I'm not asking you to force yourself to fulfill his needs, but if you can do that comfortably, then try doing that. Guys, remember, nothing is constant in this life. Life itself is not constant. How can something else be? We all need to evolve continuously. There's nothing called permanency in life, right? So if you're not evolving, well, you're being against life itself. Next question is, he's my best friend. We share everything, and suddenly he likes his new office colleague, spending time with her and all those other things. Does not matter. Does not matter. Let the person choose his happiness. You should choose your happiness. If there is some way wherein you too can fulfill his needs, he would relate with you. If not, he would relate with her who's making him more happy. You can do nothing about it. If you can change and evolve yourself, and not saying forcefully but willingly, then the relationship will continue strongly. Otherwise, you have to accept, right? You need to respect his happiness, and you need to accept him the way he is. Next question is, in Indian society, mostly relationships are toxic as men are always dominating. Otherwise, there would be more divorce. Well, that is true. I can see that happening, but we are changing. Women are getting equal chance to speak out, to express their opinions. So it is you who choose to get to be dominated. It is you who allow the other person more power over yourself. So if you don't do so, nobody can turn your relationship into a toxic one. It's in your hands. It's a two-way game. If one way does not respond properly, the other way cannot make it toxic in any way. Now, next question, what's your opinion on love your enemy? Is it necessary? And if yes, how? Yes, loving your enemy is necessary because your enemies help you to find your own faults, and your enemies help you to evolve. You certainly should respect your enemies. You certainly should love your enemies. You should not trust your enemies, right? The only thing you should not do is trusting your enemies. But you definitely should learn from whatever you can from your enemies, and you should certainly appreciate and respect them for whatever is good in them. You should remember the person is not bad. There is something in the person which is not acceptable to you. It might not be bad universally, it would just be not acceptable to you. Hence, he is your enemy. I don't have any enemy, by the way. I do not know how you managed to have. So, how to handle midlife crisis? In order to handle midlife crisis, start introspecting, contemplating, meditating. Start questioning. When you do not question early on in life, well, you feel confused when the questions arise later on in life. Start being in a state of questions and remain a seeker. Keep finding answers. There will never be a crisis in your life. If your partner does not like to meditate, well, somehow encourage him to do so. Give him a taste of it. Give him an experience. Take him to the amazing global festival of spiritual sciences, organized by Thrive. Tell him he's going on a vacation. I'm sure he would love it. It is such a beautiful event. Next question, what if the person doesn't want to speak, even just walked out without closure forever, just for a disturbance created by third person? I am unable to come out. Well, if the other person is not even willing to speak out and to end and put a closure to it, accept that. You should do whatever you can. What you cannot do, you need to accept that, can't you? Shouldn't you? True, right? So guys, learn to accept if the other person is not choosing to communicate and all those things. You've tried your best, that's sufficient. Not everybody's going to be like you, and not everybody should be like you as well. There are good people and bad people by all means in this world, and that is what makes this world beautiful, right? Monochrome is boring after all. Okay, your boyfriend is also your business partner. How to manage your relationship? It's good. There's a lot of trust. It means because he's your business partner. There's a lot of trust. Just remain giving. Give, 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 give. Do not allow the person to exploit you, right? Do not be exploited, but give, respect, care, allow, and have fun together, right? That's how it would lead to a good relationship. Next question is, if I love my wife from my deepest corner of my heart, always give her without expectation, but then too she doesn't love me or understand me, what shall I do? Have a conversation. Have a conversation. Explain it to her what we've just discussed. Perhaps show her this video, which is going to be live on Thrive's YouTube and Facebook page. Show her this video. Perhaps this video would bring about that realization. True. And if even then she does not respond, well, so you need to evaluate your options. That's all I can say. If you can still accept that indifference attitude of her, then that's fine. You're a true lover. What is the major difference in these three terminologies? I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3. I do not understand what terminology you're referring to. So please clarify that. Okay, next is, guys, I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can. I respect the time limit given by Thrive to me. There's a question that lust is part of relationships. Well, I do not think lust is part of relationships. Relationships are based on love, like I said, not lust. Yes, you have a physical need of pleasure and you want that from the other person. That is also part of love, guys. Expressing your needs and expectations is a part of love. But only wanting your needs to be fulfilled and not respecting the other person's choices, that is lust. Okay, so have clarity about this. Next question, मैं परिवार के लिए सब की पर हर बार मैं ही गलत हो जाती हूँ. आपने परिवार के सबके पर आप गलत हो जाते हो क्योंकि आप ठीक तरीके से शायद नहीं करते हो या कम्युनिकेट नहीं करते हो. अगर आपका कम्युनिकेशन ठीक होगा तो मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग्स बहुत कम होगी. अगर कम्युनिकेशन ठीक नहीं होगा तो मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग बहुत ज्यादा होगी. Okay guys, so I'm getting messages that we need to end our session because of time constraints. I'll try to answer one or two more questions. Meanwhile, you all can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, anywhere. My profile name is Living Nakul. Living, Living, and you can put your questions there. I'll answer all your questions. I answer every question every day given to me, and I put them on stories as well, hiding your name, so even others can benefit from it. So even you can benefit from them. So search me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, anywhere as Living Nakul or Nakul Agrawal, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. I'm trying to, answer one or two more questions to end the session. How to come out of fear of loss? Well, you need to accept, if loss happens, that's fine. It's going to happen. You cannot change it. If you can change something, then it's great. Make plans and preparations for it. If you cannot change it, then accept it. That's how you deal with fears. What if my partner is always wanting and doesn't want to invest in this relationship? If the person is not wanting to invest in the relationship, it's not a relationship. It's a relation. It's a lust thing, right? Okay, so guys, thank you so much for being with me in this session, asking me all your questions, hearing my views on the relationships. I hope they've been very useful to you. Please send me a feedback of how you felt in this session, of how it has benefited you or helped you. And please reach out to me on my social media at Living Nakul. I am doing many more live sessions there on Instagram and many other places, and I'll be happy to help you out with your own questions. So आप please मुझे reach out करिए social media पे. I would also like to tell you that we have an exclusive guided meditation session on reshaping personality by Shreyansh Daga at 6:30 p.m. on the same Zoom link. All right. So the time right now is 6 o'clock. At 6:30 p.m. we have another session on the same link by Shreyansh Daga, who's the executive director of Thrive and also the vice chairman of Pyramid Valley International. Shreyansh is a good friend. I know him personally and a beautiful human being. I'm sure that his session is going to be very, very, very empowering for you. And please share the link with all your friends in all the Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups and your social media so that everyone can attend Shreyansh's session and benefit from it. Guys, remember, sharing is caring. If we do not share, well, we are not caring enough, right? And if you're not caring enough, you're not loving enough. True? So please do not just expect love. Be love, guys. Be love. And how do you be love? By giving, right? So give everything, including this session link. So please remember to share the link of this session, which is upcoming from Shreyan's Daga, to all your WhatsApp groups and to all your friends on all the social media, so that they all can benefit from you, including you. And also, this session which we've just had on relationships, it's gonna be available on Thrive's Facebook page and YouTube channel. So remember to share this video on your social media profiles and different groups and WhatsApp as well, so that everyone whom you are relating with can benefit from it in his life. And thus you too can benefit from it. And everyone whom you're not even relating with, he or she too can benefit from it. Guys, love is about giving. Relationships is about giving. And giving starts with you. I hope you remain giving all your life. In the end, you'll have to give up your life too, because, right? So it was really great talking to you, interacting with you. We'll surely catch up again soon. Thank you so much. Reach out to me on social media for all your further questions and feedback of this session on Living Nakul. The Thrive team will inform you about it further. LIVINGNAKUL. Looking forward to interact more with you. Thank you so much for joining. Take care in this Corona times. Take care of yourself, your loved ones, your relations, and have a great, great, great life afterwards. Thank you so much, Harshit, for sharing the link to my profile. Thank you so much, guys. Lots of love to you. Lots of life to you. Signing off, Nakul Agrawal. Bye bye. Sending you lots of hugs and kisses.